Hello, everyone. I'm Keith Casebolt. Welcome into the radio program titled Simply Life. Please say hello to my dear friend and the creator of the program, Gary C. Johnson.
Wonderful to be here. I want to talk about the virus for just a second.
Okay.
A friend of mine, a lawyer up in New York, called me, I guess it was a couple of weeks ago. And he said, Gary, it sounds to me like you might be in a car or something. And I said, yeah, I'm in a car. I pulled off here. I'm on my cell phone. He said, go home. I said, what do you mean? He said, go home and stay home. I said, why? He said, this virus. He said, you don't understand. You guys haven't seen it yet. Mm-hmm. It is absolutely horrible. I've seen it destroy families, just ravage them. He said, at all cost, protect yourself and don't run the risk of getting the virus. Now, around here, you don't see it.
No, we've been somewhat sheltered.
Yeah, we've been sheltered from it, and we're complacent.
Easy to get that way.
Now, had we seen what he saw, we would be taking it serious. You know, what he was looking at.
Sure.
So I guess what I'm going to say to my friends that are listening, maybe we should heed his advice and be a lot more careful than we have been. Mm-hmm. Because evidently it is an extremely horrible thing to catch. And if you're one of the people that's not got some immunity to it, it'll kill you. So, friends, heed the advice of my friend in New York, who's one of the top-notch attorneys in New York, when he said, go home, Gary. Do not be out in a car even, because you need to be, when they say shelter in place, he said, listen to them. Until they get some light at the end of the tunnel, go home.
And Gary, even having said that, you know, some of the states, including our own, are starting to open up a few things, but they're asking you to make sure that you obey the rules, 6 foot, social distancing, wear the mask, the gloves, sanitize your hands, wash, protect yourself at all costs if you are out.
And you're not, when you're wearing the mask, you're protecting yourself to an extent, but you're protecting others.
Yes.
More so than you are even yourself, in case you're the ones that has it.
And the biggest problem with this virus is you can be a carrier and not have any symptoms, and you can actually infect other people, and it may not have any effect on you, but it could kill them or cost them their lives.
Right. So think of your neighbors and your friends, and when you're out going to the grocery store or whatever, wear a mask. Mm-hmm. If nothing else, put something over your face to stop the droplets from coming out of you and spreading out, just in case you may be one of the ones that has it.
Sure. Yeah.
I was looking through some books in my collection, and I ran across this one from Mike Murdoch, his collector's edition. It's called a Wisdom Commentary, #1. And we always like to deal with quotes and sayings on the show, right?
Sure.
Because they always have meaning.
You know, I find it the best way to learn from a quote.
Right.
Personally, because it's simplistic and seems like I get the meaning a lot better.
And in this book, he's got the 101 wisdom keys. And I think it's appropriate that we talk about a few of them today.
Well, you just started off with by starting off the program saying we need to be wise to what's going on with the virus. So, yeah, it kind of works.
His #1 is never complain about what you permit. Think about that. If you permit it to go on and permit it to happen, then you should not be the one complaining about it.
Now, that's kind of tough to take, because now you're getting accountability, right?
Right.
So if you permitted it, don't complain about it. Makes a lot of sense to me, I can tell you that much.
Here's a really good one. The secret of your future is in your daily routine. In other words, what you're doing today is going to determine your future.
Isn't that so true? I mean, we want to look way down the road and say, I would like to have this or I would like to have that. And what that quote is saying is it doesn't happen overnight. You build it through your daily routine, day after day.
And here's another good one that he's got under 101 wisdom keys. Your rewards in life are determined by the kind of problems you are willing to solve for others.
Isn't that good? I mean, the bigger the problem, the bigger the reward, right?
Right.
So we get upset sometimes when we see problems, but I guess what this guy is saying is when you see a problem, that's an opportunity to solve it and a chance to make some money.
And especially if you do it for others.
Just like getting this haircut of mine fixed. That was a big problem that I did.
Here's another one, number 7. When you want something you have never had, you've got to do something you've never done.
That is so true. Isn't that the truth?
Number 8, all men fall. The great ones get back up. Number 9, intolerance of your present creates your future.
Change. What you've talked about so many times. There is change.
Here's a good one. Talk about people around you.
Uh-huh.
Those who do not increase you will inevitably decrease you.
Hey, that goes back to the teachings that you have given us, that sometimes you've got to fire people from being your friends if they're bringing you down.
Well, it's like misery loves company. That's one of my favorite old sayings, and it's true. But my friends that are listening to this, they know better than that.
Yeah.
If somebody's making them miserable, they don't invite them over. They get them out of their lives.
So if someone is not adding to your life or they're not lifting you up, they're probably doing just the opposite. They're taking away and they're bringing you down.
That's what Murdoch's saying here.
And you're saying selfishly, for your own good, you've got to say, I'm sorry, life's tough enough the way it is. I don't need anyone bringing me down.
After all my friends have accepted responsibility for their happiness, not somebody else's, right?
That's the only thing that we can hope to control.
And they can control it. So therefore, be selfish.
In this area, this is the time to be selfish when it pertains to your happiness.
As I've said so many times on this show, there's only one of you.
Mm-hmm.
That one of you deserves to live this life with some contentment. They do, right? Every one of you. You can't be content if you have people around you that are making you miserable, that are negative.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't.
You know, I thought about, over the weekend actually, I thought about what you had been teaching us, that yes, there's only one of you, you're unique, but this is the only life you've got too. I mean, this run that we're doing here on Earth, that little dash you talk about, this is it. So why wouldn't you want it to be maximum happy? Why
And you got this that blame virus out there wanting to try to shorten it for you.
Yeah, trying to rob you of some of those happy days that you could have.
So my friends are going to be happy, right?
You got it.
And they're never going to complain about what they permitted to happen.
Because that's your fault, right?
There's no need to complain about it if you permitted it. That's his number one. I think that is so true.
So far, I think that one's the best. Yeah, you cannot complain about what you permitted to happen.
Here's a good one. Champions are willing to do things they hate to create something they love. It's like working out or losing weight, right?
It's like, it's like losing weight and exercising to get those pounds off. It is not fun.
It's something you will hate to do. But
it is hard for you to sit there and watch someone have the dessert or the snacks while you're sticking to your daily routine.
here's another good one. You will never possess what you're unwilling to pursue. Right?
What's that lesson you taught us? I could have if I wanted to.
Gosh, it's been a long time since we visited that.
Oh my! Well, that's what that's talking about, isn't it?
That's exactly what that's talking about. How many times, my friend, have you guys sat around out there and not done something and secretly said, now, I could have done that if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Or I could have done that a lot better if I would have. I could have been this if I had wanted to.
Yeah.
When you were using that as an excuse from fear of failure. Fear of failure has prevented so many, and I guarantee you, my friends out there, a bunch of them, have not done things they could have done, not gone to where they need to go in life out of that secret fear of failure.
But the problem with that is, Gary, we didn't know that it was fear. We didn't realize that we didn't pursue it because of the fear factor. We just told ourselves, oh, I could have if I wanted to.
That's like in school. If I'd have just studied, I could have got an A.
Could have had straight A's if you wanted,
Except
right?
for one small problem.
Yeah.
You didn't study to get the straight A's because you were scared and afraid you would fail. How many of my friends that are listening have done that?
Yeah.
You've said, it's so much easier to say I could have, or if I had wanted to, or if I'd tried, or whatever.
You know, along those lines, I'd said to an individual one time, I'd give anything to be able to play the guitar. He said, would you practice 2 hours a day? I said, no. But I made that statement, you know, kind of like I could have. Well, I would give anything, but no, I won't sit down for 2 hours a day and practice. That is a very telling statement.
So my friends are going to conquer their fear. They're going to at least become aware of it.
You're telling us there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, Gary, I tried, I did my best, and I didn't get straight A's. But at least I gave it my best and I tried to do it.
Well, it's not just that. Everyone that's ever truly accomplished anything has had any number of failures along the way. Because that's life. The only thing is they didn't let that fear of failure stop them.
Yes.
They went back at it. It's like Edison said when he was trying to invent the light bulb. He said, tried 100 ways, didn't work. Now I figured out there's 100 ways it won't work.
Yeah, so now I can move on.
Now I can move on.
Persistence.
Right.
Yeah. A great example of pursuing it.
And you know, we've talked about caring for yourself and being unique and loving yourself and how important that is. Well, it goes to the same way with others. Now, here's one of his sayings. What you respect, you will attract. So if you respect other people around you, you will attract them.
Does that relate to everything? If you have a respect for health, you'll get healthy. If you have a respect for money, you'll save money. If you have a respect for people, they'll have respect for you.
Right.
It will come to you.
Right.
Once you have a healthy respect for it.
Now, here's a great one, and my friends, I want you to listen carefully to this one. It's one of the 101 wisdom keys from Mike Burdock's book. Men choose their habits. Their habits chooses their future.
Wow. Men choose their habits, and then the habits that have been chosen will choose what your future will be.
Right.
That's pretty deep, my friend.
That's what's true. You think about it.
It really is.
And you talk about the propaganda in life that are thrown out to people. And one of the sayings he's got in here, what you repeatedly hear, you will eventually believe.
I like that. I like that. And I think that goes along with what you told us about listen to all sources, not just one. Doesn't matter what the one source is. If you just listen to one source, he's saying you'll end up believing that one source.
Whatever that source is.
So listen to all the sources.
That's why I've said,
sure,
watch all the different shows, the news programs.
Yeah.
To try to find some balance and some. They all have things that I'm sure are true.
Mm-hmm.
They all have things that I'm sure are slanted based upon the people that are giving the news.
The commentary.
The commentaries.
Yeah.
So, listen to all of it. And then try your best to figure it out if it doesn't drive you crazy. Oh, here's a good one. You will only be remembered for two things. One is the problems you solve, and two, the problems you create.
That's pretty good. So you'll be remembered after you're gone for the problems you solved or the problems you created. Hopefully, you'll be more remembered for being a problem solver,
Right.
not a problem causer.
Here's another good one. Crisis always occurs at the curve of change.
Isn't that the truth?
Remember our saying,
Mm-hmm.
our favorite saying, to change is to grow.
Yes.
To have changed often is to have grown much.
Yes. And we are in the midst of a major change.
And we're in a crisis.
We're in a crisis.
And it occurs at the curve of change. And things are changing.
Things are going to change. And it will, as you often say, Gary, time will tell. But, I thought about the social distancing and the cleanliness and the non-shaking hands. I wonder 5 years from now what this will do for the flu epidemic or other diseases because people will have changed their daily habits.
I think there'll be far less of it.
I think so, too.
But that's just my opinion. Now, here's a good one, friends. Listen up. This is a little pearl of wisdom from Mike Murdoch. You will never leave where you are until you decide where you would rather be.
See, when I hear that, I see you pointing to your forehead. You told me a couple of months ago, Keith, it's got to start right here. In your mind, you've got to envision where you want it to be, and once you do that, it will change, and that seems to be exactly what he's saying.
In line with it is another one. Intolerance of your present will create your future.
Absolutely.
Nice little sayings, right?
Well, what I like about it, they're simple enough for me to understand. And they're good lessons.
Well, let's see if I can find us another good.
This guy's actually pretty smart.
Here's a good one. Pain is not an enemy, merely the proof that you are alive.
Just a happy reminder from the big man upstairs that you're still here.
Yeah. Here's a good one, my friends. The quality of your preparation determines the quality of your performance.
Uh-oh. How does that pertain to you and I when it comes to the radio program?
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, here's a really good. Giving is the absolute proof that you have conquered greed.
I like that. Giving is the absolute proof you've conquered greed.
And another good one. What you fail to master in your life will eventually master you.
That I like. Because that really, Gary, that one quote right there sums up everything. If you are in control of your happiness, you are in control of your health. If you've mastered all that, he puts it in a very good term.
And here's what I want my friends to think about. What you tolerate, you will never change.
There you go again with that accountability. You're in a situation you don't like, change it.
This may be, I'm getting ready to read you probably the deepest one. Patience is the weapon that forces deception to reveal itself.
You better read that one again.
Patience is the weapon that forces deception to reveal itself. So if you're patient and you watch and you don't react, do the 24-hour rule or whatever, you will absolutely force deception to reveal itself.
You will never be conned. You will never be taken advantage of.
Sure.
You will, because patience will force the deceiver to reveal the plot and the plan.
And if you see something where it says you have to act now, you must act now. Absolutely. Don't wait, don't wait, don't wait. You have to act now if you're going to get in on this good deal.
Mm-hmm.
Don't act.
Patience.
Wait.
Yes. So anyone that is pressuring you to make a decision, the patience will reveal.
That's going to cost you money.
That's going to cost you money. Patience will reveal the deception.
That's right. Every time. That's the deepest one I've read to me. And it's the hardest thing to do.
Of course it is.
Because every good con artist, the first thing they're going to do is tell you, you have to act now before these others get it.
They'll even start a clock.
Yeah.
And the clock is ticking.
Mm-hmm.
There's 10 minutes left. There's 5 minutes left.
At midnight, we're leaving this here, and you'll not be able to get in on this if you wait till after midnight tonight.
You got to do it today.
Yeah.
This all comes to an end at 6 p.m. Yes, all of the pressure.
So patience will reveal the deception.
And, you know, that goes back to your 24-hour rule in that patience. If we do the 24-hour rule that you enacted and our response is always different, then the same thing with what he's talking about with the patience. By being patient for 24 hours, more than likely your decision will be different than it would have been. Oh, but we're an impatient type of people, I tell you that. We want instant gratification. That could be one of the hardest. It's the deepest one you read, but it could be one of the hardest ones to keep.
Here's a good one. You will always pursue the friendship that solves your most immediate problems.
You think? I think that one might have been a no-brainer.
Here's a good one. You will never conquer what you refuse to hate.
That's probably true, isn't it?
Oh, my goodness. And how many times have I told you I don't know if I don't have any enemies, or at least I don't remember if I do?
Uh-huh.
Listen to this. Injustice is only as powerful as your memory of it. Think about that, my friends.
Injustice is only as powerful as your memory permits.
Right.
So you have said time and time again, I have no enemies. If I did, I forgot who they were, so therefore it doesn't matter.
That's right.
Same thing he just said.
Therefore, the injustice means nothing. It has no power.
It has no power over you because you don't remember who they are.
I can't remember it.
And you don't remember what it was about.
Sometimes I think I may be so dumb I can't remember, or I'm hoping it's because I got sense enough to not remember it.
No, I think it's because you chose not to. You mastered the fact that you wanted to care about how you felt about it, not how they felt about it.
Here's a really good one, my friends. You're going to have to think on this one, too. You ready for it?
I'm ready.
In the 101 Wisdom Keys, never discuss your problems with someone incapable of solving it.
Okay, now let's think about that one. Never discuss your problems with anybody unable to solve them.
Right.
In other words, what are you wasting your time on talking?
And you're wasting their time and you're making them feel bad.
Talking about your financial problems with somebody who can't help you, or talking about your other problems when they maybe have worse problems than you do.
And then here's another one. Failure is not an event, but an opinion.
I like that.
Here's a really decent one. Silence cannot be misquoted.
My friend, that may be the best one of the program. If you think about it.
If you can keep your mouth shut, nobody's going to be able to misquote you, right?
So in this viral world that we live in right now, with all the texting and tweeting and everything, and everybody saying I was taken out of context and I was misquoted, that one solves everything. Silence cannot be misquoted. Just don't say anything.
And here's another one. There's a lot of them here. Those who do not respect your time will not respect your wisdom either.
That's good.
But
That is good. Very good. These are all been good. I'm glad you picked those out because they're all good lessons.
well, and here's one he's got. When you change your focus, you will change your feelings. And how many times have we talked to our friends about that?
Mm-hmm.
It's your attitude and how you choose to look at, or how you choose to feel about what's going on around you. That makes the difference in whether or not you have any contentment. And that's what he's saying here. When you change your focus, you will change your feelings. And if you can focus on the positive and focus on your worth as a human being, the fact you were born, that you won the big lottery,
Your
the
happiness.
fact that there's never in the universe in all time will ever be anything, being, object, anything like you. Focus on those things. And that will determine your feelings and how you feel about things around you.
You know, out of all these quotes that you've read, and even out of all the teaching that you've done over the last 20 years that I've been with you on the radio, the thing that still amazes me most is you had to point out, especially to me, that if you're not happy with the way things are, you can change it. If you're not satisfied, you can change it. You don't have to sit there and let it be the way it is. You can do something about it. You can change the way you look at it. You can change the surrounding. You can change your attitude. It works.
And if you're in a situation that is untenable and you don't think there's any way out of it, my friends, I recommend strongly you use your brain.
Mm-hmm.
It is amazing what your brain will do for you. And you will figure a way out of that situation. But you have to think, you have to plan, and you can get out of it. Remember, the only thing that's really important to you, and I'm serious when I get right down to this, I'm serious, is your state of mind and your happiness. If you can't conquer that, you can't make anyone else feel good.
That's right.
They won't want to be around you. You can't do for others what you could do for them because you're preoccupied with all of your own misery.
Mm-hmm.
But number one, fix yourself. And it is amazing what you can do for others once you do that.
Gary, what was it, about a year or two ago when we had several of the stars that committed suicide, and you pointed out on the program, Keith, these are people that are wealthy, these are people that are famous, but they could not control their happiness. And you talked to our friends and said, think about this. How important is your happiness?
Thousands of people commit suicide every year. Thousands. My friends, that is a total waste. It is an absolute insult to our Creator.
For the gift.
For the gift of life. Now, those people probably got to the point of where they couldn't take it any longer because of all the things that they thought were happening to them.
That they couldn't change.
That they couldn't change
Yeah.
or do anything about. And I can understand how that could happen
Sure.
if a person lets himself fall into that.
Because one of the quotes you had, if you don't have people lifting you up,
They will tear you
they're
down.
tearing you down. So what you're trying to do is say to all of our friends, you can change it. You can be happy. You can smile. Change your focus.
But first you have to believe that you are entitled to it.
Yes, that's the biggest. That you deserve.
And get rid of the fear of failure
Mm-hmm.
and say, yes, I am entitled to feel good. I am entitled to not be miserable. I am entitled to be happy. I have that right because I'm me and there ain't nothing else like me out there.
You know, we're going to have to come back and revisit the next time we get together some more of these because all of our time went by. I mean, this was a fun show. Those were great quotes.
Pretty smart fellow wrote those.
I think so. I think so. You can catch Gary's television show on WYMT, your CBS affiliate in Eastern Kentucky, Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock. Late night replay on your CBS affiliate in Central Kentucky. And if you're one of those early risers, catch us on the Fox affiliate on Monday mornings and Friday mornings early at 6:30. If you need to get in touch with Gary, that's GaryCJohnson.com. My friend, thank you for the program. This was very uplifting.
Delighted to be here.
On behalf of Gary C. Johnson, I'm Keith Casebolt. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, Gary and I look forward to seeing you again next week, right here at this same time.